Welcome to the third Quick Start guide for the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. This Quick Start series is intended to get you quickly up and running using some of the key functionality of the toolkit. We also have some full tutorials available that will walk you through the end-to-end process of building your first real-world Neo smart contract, and links to those tutorials are in the description. In this specific video, I'll show you how to create wallets for use with a Neo Express private net blockchain, and how to transfer assets between those wallets. This is a fundamental step in smart contract development, as you need to have a wallet funded with some gas before you can deploy your smart contracts to a Neo blockchain. I'll start by loading Visual Studio Code and opening the folder that we created in the previous Quick Start video. The workspace contains a single file, the configuration for our private Neo blockchain. I'm going to head on over to the Neo Visual Dev Tracker sidebar panel. And you can see that the Quick Start panel has noticed that I have a Neo Express configuration in my Visual Studio Code workspace, but I'm not currently running Neo Express. If I didn't have the Quick Start panel visible, I'd be able to run my blockchain by right-clicking on the node in the Blockchains panel and clicking Start Blockchain from that menu. I'll go ahead and start Neo Express now, as later in this video we will make some transactions on our private blockchain, and I'll need Neo Express to be running so that I can show you those transactions in the Neo Visual Dev Tracker. I'll hide the Neo Express terminal output, but it will continue running in the background and will be generating new blocks on our private blockchain about once every 15 seconds. Next, I'm going to create a wallet just for use on this specific private blockchain. I'll right-click on my private net Neo Express instance in the Blockchains panel and click Create Wallet. I'm asked to give my wallet a name. Let's call this first wallet Alice. And you can see that a message appeared confirming that the wallet was created. This message warns me that it's not a good idea to use this wallet on mainnet. Technically, I could take the key for this wallet from my Neo Express configuration file, and I could use that same key on Neo3 testnet or even on the mainnet, and it would work. It would just be a bad idea from a security perspective, as the private keys for Neo Express wallets are stored unencrypted, and they're typically stored not well protected on development machines. You can actually now see that our private net.neoexpress configuration file has been updated, and we can see our new wallet with a single account, and we can see that account's private key. I'll go ahead and create another wallet. Let's call this wallet Bob. And you can see that another wallet entry has been added to our Neo Express configuration file. Because these wallets are stored in the Neo Express configuration file, we'll typically only use them while testing and debugging smart contracts locally. You can see that the Quick Start panel is also offering to create a NEP6 wallet. That would allow us to create a wallet in its own individual file. And we'd also be encouraged to encrypt the keys if we chose that option. So that would be a much better choice if we were planning on deploying and testing a contract on testnet or even mainnet. But that's a more advanced topic for coverage in a later tutorial. So we've now created two wallets. Neither of them has any funds though. In fact, we haven't even created any transactions yet. If I open the Visual Dev Tracker panel and check the box to hide the empty blocks, you can see that we're still left with only the Genesis block. All we've done so far is generate keys. Next, we'll submit some transactions to the blockchain to fund our wallets. There's actually a third wallet in our Neo Express configuration file. It was created automatically when we first created the blockchain, and it's referred to as the Genesis wallet. And this wallet receives all of the Neo and all of the gas that are created in the very first block, the Genesis block, of our blockchain. Let's transfer some of those assets from the Genesis wallet to one of the wallets that we just created. I'm going to right click on my private blockchain in the Blockchains panel and click Transfer Assets. Let's transfer some NEO. Let's be generous and transfer 1000 NEO from the Genesis wallet, and we'll transfer it into Alice's wallet. We see a notification to show us that a transaction has been created and submitted, and we just created our first transaction on our private NEO blockchain. This long hex string here is the hash of our transaction, and that's how this particular transaction will be identified on the blockchain. So, if I go back over to the Block Explorer tab, we can actually see that we now have a second non-empty block in our blockchain, and that block has exactly one transaction. I can click on that row to show some more information about this new block and the full list of transactions that were included in it. And in this case, there's only one transaction in the list. Notice that the TXID column here contains exactly the same hash that we just saw in the confirmation message. So this is definitely our transaction. Let's click on it and take a look. We can see the full transaction details within the Visual Dev Tracker panel. The script has even been decoded and annotated for us, so this actually illustrates to us how asset transfers in Neo3 work. You can see that the script within this transaction pushes some arguments onto a core stack, and some of those arguments are actually values that we just entered. You can see the amount of NEO that we wanted to transfer, that's 1000. You can see the destination address, and the dev trackers helpfully detected that this corresponds to our Alice wallet. And we can see the sender address. You can also see that the transaction script causes the transfer operation to be invoked on a contract called NEO token. That's how asset transfers in Neo3 work. Each asset has its own smart contract, NEO token in this case. And to transfer assets, you must invoke the transfer operation on one of these contracts and sign the transaction using the private key of the account that's sending the funds. In our case, that was the Genesis account. I can click on any of the highlighted wallet names or addresses to see the balances of the wallet. For example, if I click on our Alice wallet on this screen, I can see that Alice now has 1000 NEO, which is what we wanted. Alice doesn't have any gas yet though, and that's going to be a problem. Gas is the asset that's used to pay to place transactions on the NEO blockchain. Now that Alice has some NEO, she'll actually start accruing gas very slowly. This is because in NEO, every time a new block is added to the blockchain, all of the accounts that hold any NEO at all are rewarded with a proportional but small amount of gas. But it will be a long process if we wait for Alice to have enough gas to do something useful, and we actually want to deploy a smart contract in the next video in this series. So what I'll do now is I'll just follow exactly the same steps to transfer some gas from the Genesis wallet to Alice. We can also go through the same process to transfer some NEO and gas to the wallet that we created for Bob. So if I go back to the Visual Dev Tracker panel, we can now see that our private blockchain has 4 blocks that are not empty. Each of those blocks contains exactly one transaction, and it will be one of the transactions that we just created that were transferring assets from the Genesis wallet to either Alice or Bob. So there you have it. You're now able to create Neo Express wallets for use on your private Neo blockchain and transfer assets between them. In the next video, we'll create our very first smart contract. I hope to see you there.